What is going on, everybody? Happy Thursday? Happy Thursday to you all, and welcome to another live beer review. Today we're going to be taking a look at a brand new brewery that I don't really think I've had any beers from these guys before. They're out of Florida, and we got one here from Barrel of Monks Brewing this afternoon. That's a brewery that specializes in Belgian style beers, which I think is really, really cool. Kind of them noticing that there's a lacking when it comes to breweries sticking to a specific style, and since the Belgian style of making beer has been around for thousands of years, they decided to kind of bring in their own kind of take of it and strictly keeping to Belgian kind of styles and all that kind of stuff. So this one is pretty much their namesake Belgian triple called Three Fates. It's where is the ABV on this guy? I just saw it. I can't see it. What the hell? Let's see the ABV on this guy. Where did it go? Right here. Okay, so it's a 9% ABV. So for a Belgian triple, yeah, that's a relatively good kind of rating for an ABV for a nice Belgian triple. Of course, Belgian ales have a really, really nice kind of really, really interesting flavors to them, just because they kind of stick to using a little bit more spice notes, having a little bit of fruity flavors in there, but then still keeping like a little bit of a boozy integrity, also with like adding a lot of bready elements to it. There's a very, very unique style of beer, and I'm a really, really big fan of Belgian ales when it comes to Belgian triples, quads, you name it. I'm a really, really big fan of them. So I'm excited to see what this thing's all about. So yeah, with it being a 9% ABV, definitely knowing that this is not going to be a sessionable beer, and I just like the little bottle it comes in, keeping to that old, like, they're trying to show it that it's like Trappist kind of style, which is, if the Trappist beer, it's actually made by monks. But this isn't made by monks, so this, I guess, it isn't a Trappist beer, but overall it's like an Abbey-style Belgian ale, which I'm a really, really big fan of those kind of styles. So I'm excited to try this one out here. So, of course, we can't be drinking a beer out of a bottle and not use the bottle opener sent to me by one of my good friends over here, Mr. Lee, not the real Gerard Butler, sent me this little cock and balls bottle opener, so I can't not use this bottle opener while opening this beer. So let's crack this thing open and see what we get on the nose in this guy. Okay, let's see. Definitely getting a little carbonation coming through. Yeah, definitely getting some spice notes. Getting a little bit of like a breadiness, almost, because a lot of the malts that they decide to use in these kind of styles of beers, they're not a Belgian beer if they're not using Belgian ingredients when it comes to Belgian malts, Belgian hops, and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of Belgian elements when it comes to the ingredients and all that kind of stuff. So I'm excited with this one because, first of all, they tell you can age it. So with almost any beer that Barrel of Monks comes out with, they recommend you to, if you want, you can age it for however long you want. It depends on how patient you are. But I'm not patient enough to let this one sit, so I want to drink this guy. So yeah, it smells delicious. Definitely getting a lot of spice forward. Definitely getting a little bit of breadiness. But I think this is going to be an absolutely delicious one. So I'm going to be drinking this out of my Riverlands Brewing Company, a little tulip glass. And let's see how this guy pours. I'm expecting a nice kind of almost light gold, maybe a golden color to it, which is exactly what we're getting. It's nice and clear, surprisingly, but overall I think this is going to be an absolutely delicious one. Definitely a little bit of head due to a lot of the times when it comes to Belgian beers, the yeast is actually, it's still alive. You actually get flavors of the yeast sometimes in Belgian style of beers just because of how active it is and all the kind of sugars that the yeast is eating, helping to create the ABV and all that kind of stuff. And look at this. Nice golden color, almost not really any murkiness to it. Pretty much translucent. Definitely, I feel like this is going to be nice and effervescent. It's still getting a lot of like almost, it's like a breadiness, but you're also getting like slight fruitier notes coming through as well. Yeah, it smells absolutely delicious. So without further ado, let's give this guy a try and see what it's all about. So, cheers everybody. Happy Thursday. Yeah, that's delicious. So, right off the bat, very, very effervescent, nice bubbly mouthfeel. Definitely getting, the spice notes are a little bit lighter when it comes to some of the other Belgian triples that I've had. For it being a 9%, it's actually really smooth and actually almost kind of tastes pretty light, which is surprising. But you're still getting those spice elements. You're still getting like slight fruity sweetness coming from it. You're getting like a breadiness. You're getting a little bit of those flavors of the yeast a little bit, because sometimes when I describe like flavors of a yeast to a beer, I recommend is like if you know what yeast smells like when you're adding it to something, like if you know what the smell of yeast is if you're making bread or all that, something like that, you kind of get that flavor as you're drinking it. It's not a bad flavor at all. I really, really enjoy it. So when it comes to Belgian ales, almost having that yeasty kind of flavor in it, I think it just overall balances like a little bit of breadiness to it. It helps with the spice notes, and overall it's just a really, really nice flavor to have in a Belgian style beer. And this one is delicious. It's absolutely delicious. Very bubbly, very effervescent. This is definitely one of those beers that I could see if you tried to take like a couple chugs of it, you'd end up burping just because of the carbonation and how bubbly it is. So let's look over here to Untapped. And of course, if you can't get your hands on this one from Barrel of Monks, Untapped is a really cool thing where they show similar beers to something that either the beer you're looking at on Untapped. So if somebody's looking to possibly get their hands on this one and they can't, they can look at the similar beers to whatever they're looking for and possibly find something near them that they can get their hands on. So let's look here. So they got one here, another one from Barrel of Monks here that I'm not even going to read off just because if you can't find this one from Barrel of Monks, you most likely can from the other one. But we got one here from Dunes Brewing called their Belgian Tripel, which is just a 10% Belgian Tripel, nothing really too out of the ordinary with that one. Let's see, we got one here from Infinite Ale Works called the West Floridian, I guess. This is a 10.5 Belgian quad, which definitely looks like it's a lot darker, a lot maltier probably. Let's see, we got the Quad Stack from Pontoon Brewing, which is a Belgian quad, 11%, but they added maple syrup in that one, so definitely not going to really get similar flavors with this one. And then we got one here from Brewery Omi Gang called the Three Philosophers, which is another Belgian quad. So I'm surprised they're calling off a lot of Belgian quads, but this is a Belgian triple because definitely there is a noticeable flavor difference when it comes to a quad and a triple, just because if it's a quad, it's definitely a lot maltier. It's going to be a lot boozier. You may have a little bit less of an effervescence to it due to them trying to let those deeper, darker flavors coming through. So most likely, to be honest, I think I'm going to go with this one from Dunes Brewing to be the most similar, honestly. Just they're in Port Orange, Florida, and so if you want to get your hands over to Dunes Brewing, if you possibly can find anything from them, you may be able to get a kind of similar experience. It's only 1% ABV higher, but this one you're going to get spice notes, you're going to get fruity notes in it, even though the fruity notes might be a little bit different just because the malts they use may have been different. So overall, yeah, you might get a pretty much similar flavor from this one from Dunes Brewing, because I don't want to say a lot of Belgian triples taste the same, but there's a lot of elements to them that are very, very similar to where it's like you could possibly pick out an element of 3 Belgian triples that are pretty similar when it comes to trying each individual one. So, yeah, overall, I'm going to go with this Belgian triple from Dunes Brewing to be the most similar. Of course, that means if you're taking on a trip to Florida, you could have Barrel Monks to go to if they're down there, or you could probably find your way over to Dunes Brewing and try some stuff from there. But let's look back here over at Untapped and see what the description of this guy is on here. So, of course, Untapped usually shows description of beers and all that kind of stuff, depending on if the brewery gave them a pretty good description. And this one is actually really, really nice. So, what it says here is possibly the most well-known of timeless style of Belgian Abbey ales is the Tripel. In keeping to the tradition, we use only the finest European malts and hops to craft 3 fates. The nose offers floral notes and zesty yeast aromas. Hints of stone fruit, caramel, and spices accompany this full-flavored golden yellow ale. This complex beer pairs extraordinarily well with food and can be aged for years for those people who like to practice patience. Yeah, like I said, there's definitely one that could be aged if you wanted to. Of course, I'm definitely getting some complex notes when it comes to a nice kind of yeastiness, almost getting the notes of the spices, and I'm not really getting much of a caramel note, but it might be adding to maybe like that bready sweetness I'm getting a little bit. And there's a little bit fruity. I don't know what kind of stone fruit I would be getting from this. Not really able to identify a specific stone fruit flavor, but overall, just that overall fruitiness that's along with this one, I think is really, really nice. And the overall, just how this beer tastes is really, really good. So let's go back here and see. Like I said before, it's a 9% ABV, so not going to consider this beer sessionable at all, just because you could probably have 1 or 2 of these and be feeling a buzz. I'm gonna be completely honest. So, and 28 IBU rating, which is a rating scale for bitterness and hops and all that kind of stuff. So, and with over 4,578 ratings, this one has an average rating of 3.82 out of 5, which is pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. So let's look down here and see it. Let's see if any of my friends, let's check this one in. Of course, we got one here who gave it a 4 out of 5. So yeah, pretty good rating for that one. And let's look back on the global ratings and see what other people had to say about this guy. So this guy gave it a 4.25 out of 5, purchased at the Craft Bar in Destin, which is in Destin, Florida. So a little gastropub spot. Gave it a 4.25. Let's see, we got a 3.75 here. Looks like he got it in a flight, so I wonder if he was over at Barrel of Monks. Let's see what we got here. We got a 3.5 from the Brewer's Tasting Room, which is in St. Petersburg, Florida. And what they said was clean flavor, slight hint of banana, not much else in their flavor profile to suggest Belgian triple. I heavily disagree. I definitely am getting a lot of those spice notes that you would definitely accompany with a nice Belgian triple. Let's see, or like I'm just a Belgian ale in general. Let's see what else we got. A 4 out of 5, purchased at the World of Beer, The Villages, which is in Brownwood, which is in the Villages, Florida. Let's see what else we got here. We got another 4 out of 5. We got a 4.25. We got 3.75. We got a full 5 out of 5. That guy must have really liked it. Another 5 out of 5 from purchased at Barrel of Monks. Let's see. We got a 4 out of 5 purchased at the Joinery, which is in Lakeland, Florida. So it looks like a lot of the stuff they're getting their hands on, the stuff is in Florida itself. And all he said to say was nice Belgian with a honey taste. Yeah, I guess maybe the honey can be an element of sweetness adding in there. We got another 4 out of 5 from purchased at Barrel of Monks, and let's read one more here. Let's see if we can find a good one. Let's look. Let's just look at this one. Where'd it go? This person gave another 4 out of 5. So yeah, pretty good average ratings, I would say, when it comes to this one. A lot of 4 out of 5s I'm seeing, but overall, yeah, this is a very, very nice, solid Belgian triple. I'm definitely getting all the flavors that I expect out of the Belgian kind of style, Abbey style ale. When it comes to the spice notes, getting a little bit of like a sweetness to it. The yeast kind of almost aromas coming through it is really, really nice. The bubbly effervescence is a nice kind of touch. It kind of gives you a break of when you're, especially if you're drinking like very like heavy stouts or something like that. This is definitely a nice element of just a change of pace when it comes to mouthfeel. So overall, the flavors of this one and just the overall experience with this beer is really, really nice. So with all that being said, let's start trying to figure out what we're going to be doing for ratings over here at our end of this guy. So let's see. Since it's not in the can, we always got to look at the bottle art. And the bottle art is really nice. It has a really nice kind of almost Belgian kind of style of bottle art, which I can appreciate because it shows like an Abbey style. Like there's a monk in a church and all that kind of stuff. The three fates on there is a really, really nice touch. Having that almost kind of church-like font on the label itself for the name of their brewery is a really, really nice touch as well. So overall, yeah, this bottle art is really, really nice. It's definitely something that is a little bit classier, but it's also intriguing enough to catch somebody's attention for all of this. So yeah, up there's the ABV right there. 9%. It was just hidden on the little kind of writing right there. I didn't see it before. But overall, yeah, really, really nice bottle art. Of course, it has the description that I read off from Untapped right there, giving you like a little bit of the story behind it and all that kind of stuff. So overall, yeah, really, really nice. And plus, if you wanted to age it, they kind of recommend you to age it up to 2024, so you can age it for a year or two and it'd still be perfectly fine. But yeah, let's figure out what's the rating on this label we're gonna do for this guy. Uh-oh, boss yelled at you. Kentucky, don't get yourself fired at work while trying to watch a review. I'll still be here, man. But for label art of this one, I give it a solid maybe. I give it a solid 4 out of 5. It's really nice. Definitely something that would catch my attention just because if I see something with a monk on it or something like that, I know that it's going to be a Belgian kind of Abbey Trappist kind of style of beer. So even though it's not a Trappist beer because it wasn't brewed by monks, all that kind of stuff, but it definitely holds true to the style and everything when it comes to making a nice Belgian beer. This one is absolutely delicious. So if I got this beer in a flight right now over at Barrel of Monks, because this beer is available on tap over there right now, so if you wanted to give this one a try, if you're over in the area of Barrel of Monks, you can give this one a try and possibly purchase it for yourself. But if I got this in a flight, would I get another one? Yeah, I probably would. Definitely has those light enough flavors to where you can still enjoy it. Definitely loving that nice effervescence kind of to it with the bubbly mouthfeel. And it's just a really, really nice change of pace of beers. I love going to like a Belgian Tripel or a Belgian Quad every once in a while just because when I'm drinking IPA stouts and sours all the time, having a Belgian kind of style of beer is a really, really nice change of pace due to just having a little bit more of a sweetness, a little bit more of like a natural breadiness, like the yeasty kind of elements to it. Having those spice flavors in there is just a really kind of like nice palate cleanser as well. So, with that being said, what is my final rating on this guy going to be? It'd be a tough one, but I think my final rating on this guy, I'm going to give this a very, very solid 7.75 to it, close to an 8. I'm going to give it probably a 7.75 out of 10. Really, really good. If you can get your hands on this one, I would definitely recommend doing it. There's nothing really, any off flavors I've tasted from this one. It's just a very, very nice and very solid Belgian Tripel, pretty much. It's not really anything that's groundbreaking when it comes to any stuff, like any things that are different from this kind of style. There's just a really, really solid Belgian Tripel. So big props to Barrel of Monks for kind of sticking to a style and kind of perfecting it almost. And this Belgian Tripel is absolutely delicious. So big props to them. But other than that, yeah, I think that's pretty much what I have for you guys today. So again, thank you everybody in chat for hanging out. You guys are amazing. If you haven't yet, please hit that like button. It would help you out a lot. Also, if you're looking to support me in either way, I did post on Instagram yesterday letting people know that I still have my monthly 4-pack giveaway going on my Patreon if you want to join and possibly have the opportunity to win a free 4-pack of beer with a possibly easy entry of $5. So if you can get $20+ worth of beer for a $5 entry and possibly win more in future months, because I'm going to plan on doing a 4-pack giveaway every single month during my Patreon and all that kind of stuff. So you have the opportunity to win a really nice 4-pack. You have a couple, I think it's 2 days left now to enter, get on my Patreon and get on a tier and possibly have the chance to win a raffle. So if you want to do that, if you want to support me in another way than just watching my videos, my Patreon is always an option. You can find it in my kind of about me section on my Instagram, or it's down in the description below if you want to check it out. Just, it's up to you if you want to join. It's there for people who have the option to do it. But other than that, let's see. If you're a fan of craft beer and you're on social media and you kind of hear me talk about Untapped all the time, I really, really recommend you to get on there. It's a fun time. It's what I like to call Facebook for beer drinkers. It's just a very, very easy to use platform. You could drink beers, get badges, you check in beers, all that kind of stuff. And it's just a really, really fun platform. Plus, it's easy to use because you can use it on Android or iPhone, or you can even use it through your desktop if you wanted to as well. But let's see. Am I missing anything here? I do not think I am. So again, thank you everybody in chat for hanging out. You guys are amazing. And I think that's what I have for you guys today. So thank you again. And I'm ending this like I always end it before we get the hell out of here. If you're going to drink responsibly. Don't drink and drive. And I'll see you all next time. Cheers.